Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I can divide by zero. Alongside me, that is not Adrian Grenier from the hit HBO show Entourage. That is my friend Ali DePina, and this is episode 27 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. This is episode 27, the Sand Shrew episode. Famous players to wear the number 27, maybe one of the greatest MLB players of all time, and Mike Trout. One of my personal favorite MLB players of all time, Vladimir Guerrero, Steve Atwater, and Eddie George. Famous Red Sox players to wear the number 27, Carlton Fisk. And there's not really any famous Mariners to wear the number 27, but the most recent Mariners to wear the number 27 is Jesse Winker and Tyler Locklear.
Yeah. And then for the Giants, we got number 27 from in the 90s, Rodney Hampton. My favorite 27, we got Brandon Jacobs. And then our current 27, Jason
Nice.
Pinnock, cornerback.
Ollie,
Love it,
how's it
love
going,
it, love
man?
it.
Voice is sounding a little rough there, bud.
Yeah, it's going good. I got to go to the Giants game, and this was the first time I got to go where the Giants won, so I was screaming. I'm not gonna lie, at the end of the game, I was crying. I was so excited. It was like we were winning. It was a great game. The Seahawks were marching at the end of the game though to tie it up with like a minute left, and so I was like, I don't really want to go to OT. I was like so nervous. One of our players jumped the center
Nice.
and blocked the field goal, ran it back, and that's how we won. So really awesome game. I
Nice.
just remember going
That's
crazy.
always-
I found a bunch of Giants fans. It was a great time. The Seahawks, they have an unbelievable atmosphere and stadium. Like, I don't think I've ever been in a louder stadium. Like, and this time I think it was the loudest. Like, it's those third downs, these certain plays that they're making, it is so incredibly loud. And those fans really are some of the best fans in the NFL. And in that stadium, everything, it's truly a top end experience. And the guys I was sitting with, they're like on a bucket list to check off every stadium and go to everyone, and they're like, "Yeah, this
that's
is up
awesome,
there."
man.
So
Yeah, I
really
really
cool,
liked.
really cool.
I think Roxy put it on her Instagram story where it was the two of you, and it was like a house divided, and I was like, "This is funny. I like this." Yeah.
Yeah, usually she'll actually wear like I have like some Giant stuff she'll wear, but this year I said, you know what, just wear what you want. I'm not gonna make you go through that. There was some when we got off the bus, there was some hostile fans. Like, there's this old man wearing a Eli Manning jersey. This guy ahead of us, Seahawks fans, is just like, you like dumbass, you fucking mouth breather. And I'm just standing like 5 feet behind him, and it's this old
Yeah.
man who looked genuinely sad that this just happened to him. And then these fans are walking by, and then they started talking about how Eli Manning is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I
Yeah.
was like, what? Why were you being like, you should have
Yeah,
said that to
that's
me, not
crazy.
this old man. That's crazy. And so then I remember walking with Roxy, and she's like, slow down,
Yeah.
like, don't walk past him. And I was like, this might be a little different than I expected, but after that, it was all good, and I was just excited. Every Giants fan, I'm giving a high five. After the win, I'm hugging everyone.
Yeah,
it
it
was
sounds
amazing.
like a good time, man.
But
I
yeah,
haven't been to
awesome,
a
awesome time.
Seahawks game yet. I think that'll be pretty fun. I think for sure. So I got to do that, and I got to do a Kraken game still. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think
games are
when
fun.
maybe
Kraken
when the
games are
Buffalo
fun.
Sabres come to town, good opportunity. Yeah, grew up in Buffalo. I used to go to Sabres
Ooh.
games all the time when I was a kid, and like fun. So like hockey games are electric,
Okay.
dude. If you get into it, like that is a crazy
That's
atmosphere
what's up.
too. So yeah,
100%. Yeah. Yeah, and then I've just been this is like I have my third day today on this Tuesday of Costco. So I've been starting my work at Costco. I think I've had 6 total days with orientation and everything. Um Really awesome experience. Like, everyone I'm meeting in the company has been super nice. I've got to just meet a ton of people. Um and yeah, the work's really awesome. Like, it seems like there's never nothing to do. So time kind of goes by quick, and you're always doing something, which is a interesting thing for me, and I'm getting used to that. But really fun, and talking to some different people.
Nice.
I've met some disc golfers already. They're like, I was walking around, they're like, what do you do in your free time? I was like, I disc golf. He's like, oh, I'm gonna pick your brain later. And then next thing you know, he's like, go
Yeah.
talk to John in maintenance. Go talk to this guy. Go talk to this guy. And
Hmm.
they're all disc
Bro,
golfers.
you
They're
gotta
like, oh, where do you play? Where do
be
you
cool
play?
though and be like,
So
yeah, I don't
that's
know,
super
like I'm
exciting.
still kind of working on my game, trying to figure it out, and then get out there and just like smash, all right,
Uh, I should I might start doing that. I said to some people I play pretty good.
okay, yeah.
I said I play professionally. So they were excited and they're like, we.
It's,
I think it helped me, and I would think I was just nervous, so like that. But if I was more
yeah.
comfortable, maybe if I
I'm
find a
just
new
working it
person, I might
out,
tell
kind
them
of
I'm
seeing
pretty
what's
bad, and we'll
up,
go.
and then you get out there and you're throwing your tilt upside down and shit, and they're like, what is this? Yeah, I
How
had a
about
good weekend
yourself,
for
Craig? You had
sure.
a good weekend.
I played the TerRon Open and I won that. That was really awesome. I had 3 wins on Sunday, kind of. And it was kind of a funny, like it was kind of silly. Yeah, I won the TerRon Open. It was awesome. We'll get into the full TerRon review coming up. I also won my fantasy football um, matchup this week too, which was cool. And then I won a dispute with Uber Eats that was 100% my fault, and I was like, this is so awesome. So I was like, after the TerRon Open, I was like, man, I want some Wingstop. I want some wings. And I go to order them, and I accidentally had it delivered to the shop because I use the app to, bring myself lunch at the store sometimes. When I realized that it was getting dropped off at the shop, I called the Uber driver and I was like, hey man, I messed up. I was like, I'll let Uber know that I messed up. I was like, but you go take that order. I was like, there's no reason to just like leave it like at the door on the street. The store was already closed. I was like, that's yours. I was like, go have some dinner, buddy. And he was like, hey, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. And he takes it, and I message Uber and I was like, hey, like I screwed up, like, and I told the guy he could have it. And I gave him a big paragraph of like what happened. And I was like, is there any chance I can get like a refund or something? And Uber was like, no, you can't. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to accept that. And I think you should just give me a refund because I use your app a lot. And this is a pretty easy mistake to make. And they're like, yeah, we just can't. And I was like, okay, don't be surprised to see my account go silent for the coming months. And they're like, hang on, let's see what we can do. And they like refunded me like 2 minutes later. And I was just like, that's all you got to do is you just kind of got to give them a little crap. You know? And
Yeah, I mean, they're a big company. They
that's
can
what
take a couple
like.
L's
I'm
with
not
that. They
worried.
make
I'm
so
not
much
taking this
damn
out of like a
money. I'm
small
not
guy's
too worried about
pocket.
it.
Like this is Uber. Like they're fine. So, but that was my 3 wins on Sunday. That felt pretty good. And besides that, I'm just kind of like looking ahead to dubs. Like I was saying, the season's kind of starting to wrap up. So, um, scheduling some lessons, kind of getting that out of the way, getting that not out of the way, but kind of getting that, on the schedule and kind of getting that dude going. Yeah. And then just kind of, looking forward to kind of like Halloween and stuff like that. Do you and Roxy do anything for Halloween? Just yeah, nice.
Just
Ellie and
dress
I,
up,
so
go
for
out.
Ellie's
Yeah.
work, because she does like events and stuff, she did a carnival party a couple years ago where her work bought a like giant, like industrial sized cotton candy machine. So for the last like 2 or 3 years, we go on the front porch and we do fresh cotton candy, and we'll have like a line of kids and parents like that wrap like down our porch that are like trying to get like cotton candy. So, dude, it's super fun.
That's
If
pretty
you and
sick. I
Roxy want to
like
hang
that.
out and
I
you
like
guys
that a
want some
lot.
like cotton candy and like you come up and chill, like you're more than welcome because it's a good time. And we get a couple different flavors, so we're kind of like mixing it up and stuff like that. And Ellie is so good with the cotton candy machine now; she's like a freaking whiz with it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's really fun.
That's so
But yeah, let's
cool.
get right into the TerRon Open review. Yeah, it's just with that Lake Fenwick, like we said last week. Like I was saying last week, I absolutely love Lake Fenwick. All the guys, all the guys down there have done such a great job of maintaining the course and just giving the course just like general improvements. Big shout out to Terry, to Ron, Jason, and the rest of the guys. I know there's so many people out there that are always like working on it. I heard they pretty much put in like a tee pad a week for like 8 weeks straight, throughout the summer because they were just trying to get the short pads or the long pads in for the course. Those were awesome. All the changes in that have been just amazing out there. So congratulations all of them. Thank you to Tyler Schrock, Jim Hansen, and all the guys at Mando's for running the event. It was really smooth, really well done. Um, Sunday was pretty awesome. It was myself, Jason Kenway, and Brandon McNew, and the three of us had a pretty tight battle for first place, kind of getting into that second round. Um, that Sunday round, I never threw anything bigger than a PD. That course just isn't necessarily like long enough for me to get out there and be throwing like DD3s or cloud breakers and trying to bite off like all the distance possible kind of thing. So that was kind of cool to like shoot super well and not really have to bust out anything bigger than like a PD or like an instinct for the day kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. But just generally, it was a cool battle. You know, Brandon and I really just traded the lead back and forth, and Jason just kind of kept us on our toes the entire time. Jason was just, right there, right up until probably about hole 16 or 17 when Brandon and I kind of kicked it into gear, and, he lost a stroke or two right there. But Brandon was awesome. The guy's a great putter, super smooth thrower. Seems like Fenwick's kind of like his home track, so he was out there just like, hitting the lines really nicely. Um, it was funny on hole 18. I knew I had a one-stroke lead. I missed a putt on 17 that I told myself, like, hey, if you make this putt, you don't have to putt on 18. And 18 is a very elevated basket and a tee shot that I hadn't felt especially dialed in on. So I was like, hey, make this putt and then you're good. And I missed the putt and I was like, shit, here we go. Like, you have to do something cool in 18 now. I was first on the tee. I throw my shot and there's a bunch of guys hanging out in the parking lot. And my disc hits the ground and I look up and everyone's just silent. And I'm like, give me something, boys. Like I can't. I was like, the silence is like killing me. So I'm like, up, down, up, down. And Jedi's like, bad. And Shrock's like, ah. And I was like, I don't love that, So I was like, okay. I was like, so that's not very close. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I
What
was
does
like,
that
I don't
even
even know.
mean?
Like, that's probably not very good. And then Brandon throws a drive and everybody starts cheering as soon as the thing hits the ground. And I was like, all right, he's parked. So I knew, I was like, I have a tough lie. He's parked and I only have him by one stroke. So we walk up and I'm probably sitting, I want to say about 30-ish feet, kind of like past the basket. Like I went long. So probably sitting about 28, 30 feet or so about over there. And Brandon's like against the rocks, like against the thing. So he's like underneath it. Like he's definitely going to birdie. And I walk over there and I look at my lie and I was like, okay, like you have to make this putt for the win. And as I was looking at it, for some reason, I just had this like overwhelming confidence that was like, even if you miss, you're still going to hit basket and you're going to be okay to get par. And then you're going to take him in the playoff. And that was kind of my like, hey, even if you miss this, like you're going to par this. And I don't know what that was, but like the idea of like airmailing it and just missing like and just going like way long like never even really came to my mind. And even if it did, like it wouldn't have mattered because I would have just taken my bogey or whatever and I still would have gotten second place, which is just fine. It's not the win, but it's not like I'm losing like 5 places, and a ton of money by doing that kind of thing. But I just had this like overwhelming confidence that I was just going to at least like hit basket and be fine. And yeah, the putt came out of my hand, and
Yeah.
as soon as it came out of my hand, it was less than halfway, and I was like, I think I did it. And I saw it kind of creep over the basket edge and hit, and like this is like probably the most like pumped for a putt I've been. Like I jumped, I like fist pumped, I was like, I like slapped my chest a couple of times. Like I was so excited. Like that was like such a big one for me, and to have the whole crowd there like cheering and that kind of thing was super super cool. Ming came up to me like as I like cleared my disc out and I grabbed my bag and he came up and he's like, bro, you got balls of steel. That was awesome. And I was just like, that was cool. Like that means a lot, coming from him. So yeah, just a really, really cool, great experience. And just, really happy, obviously happy that it happened. I feel like I broke my curse with Fairway Media because this year I feel like I haven't really like shot a round that I've been like super proud of on Fairway Media. It's kind of been like my quote unquote curse. I haven't blown up, but I just haven't done super well. So this kind of feels like I broke the curse there, which is really, really nice. Yeah, just it was great. I chatted with Jojo a little bit, Jojo Nybar. He shot like super hot that second round. I think he shot like 4 down. This is super funny. So I texted him
Yeah.
afterwards. I was like, yo, I saw your 4 and I had to double it. Sorry, bud. And he's just like, not, he's like, yeah, you want a cookie? And I was like, I do. I just wish it wasn't so salty. I'm like, But like, I love that he's like there, you know, and he's like, he sees like me as like, oh, I got to try to like keep up with Kirby, and like I want to compete with Kirby. He's gonna be a monster. Like he's gonna be so good. He literally said to me like going into
Yeah,
after day one, we were texting at night, and he was like, yeah, like I think I'm gonna set up really well tomorrow. I think the longer paths are gonna play better to my game, and like he already understands like what his game is, and he understands like how to execute, and he's good at like golf too, which is cool. So Jojo's going to be an absolute monster. Like we're going to be seeing him in MPO probably like realistically like maybe next year, maybe 2025, probably 2026 if not, you know. I think he's like 14, so he's really kind of at that age where he's like growing rapidly too, and like, you know, skills are like honing in for himself. So
yeah,
um yeah, he's going to be a monster. There's just no way around that. So yeah, we'll get right into the winners real quick of the TerRon Open. Um, I won MPO. I'm a two-time winner. Sorry, let me update this real quick. I'm a two-time winner. Brandon McNew came in second, and Jason Kenway came in third. Ning Vang, no surprise, won MP40. Jedi did give him a run for his money, though. It wasn't just like a blowout, so that was cool. That whole division was pretty close because, like, Bjorn always liked to give Ming a run for his money, and Darren's really good. Like, Darren's like sneaky good, especially at a, like, I don't know if Fenwick plays to Darren's skill set like a place like Delphi was, because Darren throws so freaking far. Like it is, he bombs, and like he's just a great guy too. I love running into him during like practice rounds and stuff like that. Steve Bell took home the win for MP60. Thomas Gracie won MA1. Corey McCarthy won MA40. I believe now he is a three-time TerRon Open winner. Jojo, as I mentioned, won MA3. Good for him. Yeah, that final round was awesome. He beat the field by 3 strokes by shooting that 4 down. So he crushed it. So,
yeah.
all right,
Super sweet to see.
couple of calendar things we kind of want to let people know about and stuff that's going on. Currently, there is the South Fork League that starts this week. It starts today. It is Tuesday. So that's going to be going on every week, I believe, for 6 weeks. Emerald City Discs will be donating a CTP. Um, I'll figure out what all those are when I get to the shop today. I haven't really looked at them yet. So that's what to do. Oh, one last thing about the TerRon Open. Tyler Schrock and I will be doing commentary for the Fairway Media coverage of it. So stay tuned for that. Just kind of as I was moving on, I was like, one last thing. So yeah, Schrock and I are going to be doing coverage. Really excited to do it with him. I think we're going to be knocking that out tomorrow. So expect to see that maybe next week or the week after. Not really sure. Thanks. Comment in the comment section below when that's coming out.
Sweet.
Um, but yeah, so South Fork League starts this week. We'll be donating CTP. The CTAG League is still going on. Where Emerald City Disc also donates CTPs to that one as well. So Christian is running that. There was some changes to CTAC that I kind of want to talk to you and kind of talk through with you a little bit. And we kind of just mentioned them a little bit before the show started, but so for last week they did kind of like a like safari layout of sorts, and a couple of the changes, they did eight tee pad as a par 3 to tens basket, which is just like a really straight shot. That's totally fine. I believe he did make like some trees that are in between 8 and 11's fairway, like out of bounds, and there's going to be like a line in between them, like there's a line painted. So OB on that side over there, which honestly, it's fine. Like you and I have talked about that before. Like I kind of like that SeaTac doesn't have like OB lines kind of like painted all around it, and I kind of like that it's just, you know, tree line separated or just like natural OB and stuff like that. So this change doesn't bother me at all, though. I think 8 to 10's basket's not exactly the most like, it's not really the most like interesting safari hole, you know what I mean? Because it's just kind of just like straight there, but like that one's I think is totally fine. Um 15 plays as a par 4, so it's 15's tee pad to 16's basket. And I believe that they did clean up some of the vegetation and stuff like that, so there are some lines that kind of can go like through there. This is another one I don't mind this. I think this is like kind of interesting. I think as long as that back wall is cleared out enough, and there is like a legitimate like decent gap to hit that you can put like a disc through to kind of punch through. I think that's great. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's really important with that hole because if not, I'm just thinking of like that, yeah, the whole wall behind. There is like some pass, but yeah, if as long as there's a clear
yeah, give me a hole,
gap to
and that's
hit,
fine. I don't, the
I
hole
like
doesn't
that
have
change
to
a
be
lot.
like super generous either. Just big enough that like, hey, it's reasonable to hit that
Hmm.
from down at the bottom of the hill there, and maybe people are going to have to throw a bigger disc, or maybe people who can't throw as far are just going to throw to the gap, to throw the second one through. That's fine, but give a reasonable kind of gap kind of thing. But other than that, I think that's also like kind of a fun change, and I think that's totally fine. um and then the other
Yep.
one is 19's tee pad to 20's basket. So I will just say before I read any of the, because like he has like a Mando and like a OB line and stuff like that set up here. When I look at, if you don't put any OB or anything like that, I think 19's tee pad to 20's basket is actually like a pretty soft par five. I do think it's like a good par five, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I should be able to like birdie that most of the time. Like we said, no OB, assuming there's no OB around anywhere, kind of thing. Like I don't think it'd be too unreasonable to be birdieing that more consistently, if not even running eagle. Because I do have some drives that get up like to the log, kind of up on 19's fairway, and at that point you're just throwing like a big hyzer kind of around kind of thing and putting yourself, C1, C2 kind of deal. So um, so the OB and stuff like that, there is a Mando left near the normal hole 20 tee box area. OB right short of that. Basically, if you go into 18's fairway, that will be OB. A line will be painted. I I mean, I get protecting the other fairway,
Okay.
like that's totally fine, and that is a pretty bad shot. Um, it's like I was saying before, I'm more of a fan of not having OB lines and stuff like that out at SeaTac. Just like on and over path is like a pretty nice, just like straightforward kind of thing. But what do you think of this change? What do you think of this part five?
I like this change a lot, probably the most out of any of them. Um, I don't if you throw before into that OB, that's probably just a protection area, like throwing over any fairway. We'd probably want protection on that or anything like that. If with making any moving any pin, it makes people think or have ideas where they're like, oh, I could just do this and make this a lot easier, kind of thing. Where I see the importance of that. I like that change though a lot. I feel like I'm gonna go to SeaTac and go play that change on its like I'm gonna go try that par five because I just want to go play it and try a couple of other of these holes and stuff. But I'd like to see some of these like longer safari holes like in
Mm-hmm.
more like SeaTac rounds and other things like that for sure. I just think it offers another challenge, another thing with it. I feel like as maybe this is the first time I've heard of people doing this. I think someone helped
Yeah,
with it, but it'd be
be
cool to see it
interesting to
more for
see
sure.
more. Yeah, like you were just saying, like more stuff like that. Like it's like if you could just like turn SeaTac just the whole course into like an 18 or something like that, right? Like how big, like how many of the fairways like could you actually combine? Like I've always kind of like really liked the idea of hole eight's tee pad to like hole nine's basket. And not really, and like go ahead, go up, 10's fairway if you want to, kind of, and like go up 10's fairway or nine's
Yeah,
fairway. But if you go up 10's fairway, like at some point, like it's going to be a tight gap, to kind of get through. And if you go up nine's fairway, you're still, like I like stuff like that. Like I think that's kind of like a fun, like interesting way to look at the course for sure. So, like I've always said, I've always been a big fan of trying new stuff. And if it doesn't work, you don't have to do it again. Right. And if it does work, that's awesome. We have another thing that we can be doing, for our tournaments in the future kind of deal. But you never know if you don't try. And, yeah, so it's cool. I love people that are just kind of trying new stuff like that. All right, get into the giveaways real quick. Like we were saying, last week was our 6 month. So this is the Team Discmania stamped essence. This is going to go to Dylan. He commented on last week's video. Can you believe it? With a little kitty emoji too. So that honestly, if I'm ever like, hey, whatever, like comments or whatever, cat stuff will always kind of get my attention. Like I'm easy and I'm a sucker for it. So, Dylan, you got the Team Discmania Essen or Team Discmania coming your way, and then I
That's
really
sweet.
liked Mr. Banks, I believe. He had what I thought was one of the most fun comments. Ollie's going to have to put the souls of his defeated enemies into his bag. So, Mr. Yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow, buddy. I got a
I like that
P1X
one a
coming your
lot.
way. Sweet, kind of like micro beaded putter. So, coming your way, buddy. Thank you all for commenting. Really appreciate it. Um, yeah. No, there's a
Dylan
bunch of
also
good
had a
ones
good
for sure.
comment there too. The RT Albatross, I was like, from
Cut.
Franklin, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
deep
please
cut.
don't pick
Yeah,
that one,
the
so I don't
choo
have to
choo.
back
That's
it.
another good one. Which I appreciate you guys all kind of throwing suggestions in there. They're funny. I love stuff like that. So, nice. Yeah. So next week or this coming weekend is going to be Washington State doubles. This one I'm looking forward to. I don't play a lot of dubs or anything like that. I haven't really done like Washington State dubs the last couple of years. I haven't even really played Stellicum honestly in the last couple of years, just because I haven't played many tournaments down there. But I am looking forward to it. I'm partnered up with Jeremy Marsh, who awesome dude. He and I play a very similar style of disc golf where we're basically throwing like almost the same disc on the majority of like shots and like the same kind of shapes and that kind of thing. Like he's definitely more backhand dominant, like I am, kind of thing, which is great. I will say I think I have a little more distance and a little more power than Marsh does, but I think his putting and just his general game is a little more consistent than mine is, where I can get a little wild at times. I really don't see him getting wild too often. Like he plays within himself really well. So really looking forward to playing with him. Like I said, looking forward to it. Feeling good about our chances. We're a pretty strong team between the two of us. There are one or two other teams that I'm like, oh, those guys are going to be really, really good as well. Birdie Boys, Daniel Pfaff and Emmett Kyson. Those guys are both like super good. Bud Pelicans with like Chris Holden and Michael Lampert. I think those guys would be solid. Did you see Brian's hat with Max Spears and Trevor Lofton? Trevor Lofton is either going to be the best player in the field or like towards the bottom. Like he has no middle ground. He's either like completely popping off or he's having just like a tough day. So it's fun playing with him. Um, Caleb Joyner and Jeremy Suave for the Eastside Tumbleweeds. Heiser Heroes with Asher Weidman and Brian Johnson. OG in the remix with Mateo Jr. and Senior. Jeremy Marsh and I were over 30 and flirty because we're both basically elderlies in this field. Um, some fun names in here, like Your Mom Loves Me, stuff like that. Super Smash Bros. Jason Einfield and Lucas Lada. So a lot of good teams. Feeling great though. Feeling good about partnering with Marsh. I got to get out to Stelly. He and I are going to get out there, I think, Thursday and play some practice rounds. Like I said, like I don't play out there too often. Like I'm more familiar with Stellicum Northwest. I've played there, a handful of times in the past, but I've almost like never played the new rhododendron course. I think I've only played this new layout like once or twice since it's been installed. So
I don't think you're uh not missing too much, but I think you're going to be able to
yeah,
score like 14 under or lower there, like kind of area where like every hole is birdieable in a sense of like, yeah, it's I think it's just such an attack. You got to be on attack. It's like kind of gives me not like exactly South
yeah.
Fork vibes, but you
It seems
really
like
just
it. The
got to be
scores last year
attacking
seemed
like
like it was
every
just like a
hole.
birdie fest. Like I think there was like a 7-way tie for first place last year, or something stupid like that. So yeah, I'm going into it being like, hey, like we got to birdie everything. Like I think already on Northwest, there's only a couple of holes out there that I'm like, ooh, that's like an extra tough birdie. That's an extra tough birdie. But for the most part, like when I run through those holes in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I should be able to park that. I should be able to get this one. I should be able to get close on this one. If we have 2 shots on this, we should be able to get up there. Like there's just a couple that I'm like hole 12 at Northwest is like really, really hard. Like I'm fine taking a par there. I think it's like hole like 7 or hole 8 maybe is like really really tight and finishes like hard to the left. That's another one where I'm like, man, if either of us get our drive in circle 1, like that's a freaking sweet shot, just because I think the gap is so tight off the tee kind of thing. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. Like I said, and this will be a really really good tune up for Washington State's. So to let me get out there, throw some drives, and kind of like learn what stuff's like not working, or what holes maybe I need to attack differently or more aggressively or less aggressively, whatever it might be, kind of thing. So yeah, it should be fun. I'll do fantasy football check in, bud.
Hell yeah. Yep, weekly report is out, and there's no winless teams anymore. I officially got the win. I had to go again. I almost didn't win. Luke had this league is pretty solid in the sense of one of the stats I look at is like percentage like you got correct, basically like how many points you left out on your bench. So or like how perfect your lineup is in the sense of how you could have played it. So like Luke had 100%, Gabe had 100%,
Wow.
CL 25423 100%. I'm on top of the world 100%, and then just a plethora of like 90s, mid 90s to high 90s. You actually had the lowest with 88.5, which is insane because it just shows like
That was
everyone's
quarterback.
making
One of
good decisions with that.
my bench quarterbacks scored like 35 points, and I was like, what? Kirk. Yeah.
Bench warmer of the week. Yep, he had Falcons record 504 yards, I believe, against Tampa Bay, and it's his first year, and they've had some Matt Ryan, and so like it was kind of crazy. But Kirko, yeah, kind of is his team. But let's go over the winners for the week. So we got Vanilla Vic and Crew versus Team Luke, got the win, 169 points to 166 points, very close. Lucas Cabrera lost 126.06 to 141.08. Gabe Zansberg with the big win, 154.14 to 105 over 2 tight ends, 1 cup. Among top of the world, 142.02 is not enough to Team Slop Jockeys league high, 171.12 for the week. And then CL 25423 still remains undefeated with his 4-0-1 draw. Can't believe we had a draw in an exact tie, but awesome week. Looking forward to next week. We got a couple good matchups. Kirby's going to be going against Team L, the number 1 team, but so we got to see an upset. This is a fun part of fantasy football where the bye weeks start coming in. So like the Eagles didn't play this week, so all those Eagles players didn't get to be played. There's going to be big players coming out. So now we're at the point where anything can really happen, which is a really fun point of fantasy football. But yeah, we got 3 1-4 teams. So now Luke, I'm challenging whoever can get the highest at the end from us 3. I'm curious. That's a new side bet. I got a special prize for one of you if you can if you can beat me, basically, is what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna beat y'all at the rest of the year. So I got a little special side bet going for Luke and Lucas. Hey, it's just if you're bottom of the if you're 1-4, you can talk. Come on. This is for we need extra things, extra motivations. But that's about it. Looking forward to the next week.
Yeah, it should be fun. As we're talking about it, I'm like, I got to pick somebody up. I'll do this afterwards. We're doing a show. All right. Yeah, that was great. It's been fun to do. I'm not really, I am not tuned into the games at all, but I am tuned into like the fantasy aspect of it. Cause I'm like, I just want to like it's just a game on my phone where I'm like, I want to beat this guy. I really don't care at all about the actual players. I'm not like, I need to go and watch this football game to see if my guy does something cool. Like I'm not that invested in it. But it is fun to be like, well, I really don't want to lose to like Lucas, like Jesus, man, So, it's a good time. I'm glad we're doing that. It's fun for sure. All right. Getting into the draft for this week. This is this week, because it's October, we're going to do the Halloween candy draft. I sent Ollie a list of 15 of what I think are the most common trick-or-treat candies that you're going to find. I was at Walmart the other day, so I just kind of went up and down the thing. I think these are the most, like I said, I think these are the most common ones. We're going to mix it up this week. We're going to pick 5 each from this pool. We will comment this pool. I'll throw this pool into a comment on the video so everybody can kind of see. So Ollie, I'm going to take the number 1 pick because I have one that I'm pretty passionate about.
Go for it.
For the number 1 overall pick for the Halloween candy pick, I'm picking Snickers. Yeah, dude, Snickers is the best.
No. You made my 2 and 3 a little easy, but
so good.
I agree with you. I love
honestly,
Snickers
man, I even like the
so
almond
much.
Snickers a lot. I think those are delicious. Oh my!
I think they're better.
Thank you for saying that.
The like white packaging, I think they're the best. I think that's the best candy in the world.
Ollie, I
think
love you right now,
the
bro.
almond ones
I feel
are
like
so
I'm like
good.
always just like the one person that's like, no, give me the almond ones. That's hell yeah, hell yeah, bro. Hell
no,
yeah.
get me the almond ones. All right, we're gonna have a KO watch party. I'm just gonna bring a bunch
Snickers,
of almond choice or almond Snickers. Yes. All right. Well, with the 2 and 3 picks, I was gonna go with Snickers as my one as well. So that's a great one, kind of a consensus one, if you will. But
hell yeah,
I'm gonna go with Skittles. All about that action. If you're gonna take the chocolate, I'll take the number 1 goat in the fruit candy. And then if not, I'll take Starburst. Give me the 1-2 punch. I swear, you open up those Halloween Starburst packs and you get 2 pinks or a pink and a red. And you're like, I just hit the lottery.
Oh.
Or you get the 2 orange and you're like, what?
I'll get
I'm kidding.
Like a pink and an orange is like, yo, this is a good. Pink is the best combo, of course, but pink.
I only say that because I'm wanting a pink, but I've eaten them all. I love them all.
Those are solid picks, solid 1-2s or solid 2-3s, no doubt. For my number 4, I'm gonna keep since you got such like a sweet candy thing going on, I'm gonna lean hard into the chocolate. I'm going with Reese's. Reese's peanut butter cups, awesome. I really like when they do the pumpkin ones, or like in Easter when they do like the egg ones, and it's like more of the peanut butter filling and less chocolate. Those are so freaking good. So yeah.
Yep.
Man,
the
those are amazing.
Seasonal
Reese's,
I feel.
And then for the number 5 pick, I'm gonna go with peanut M&Ms, the little yellow package. Yeah, I like those more than I like regular M&Ms. So tasty.
I like the peanut M&Ms probably the most. I also like the pretzel. I like any of the M&Ms, honestly. The pretzel
with
M&Ms
little
are pretty
crispies
solid.
in there, really nice
all
too. Yeah. You know they do M&Ms with almonds, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yo.
I did not know that.
Fuck me up, bro.
I did not know that. I'm about to go tap in with that. With my next pick, I'm going with one of my favorite chocolate bars because you kind of went heavy on the chocolate, so I need to round out my lineup. The Crunch Bar.
Yeah.
Those little blue
those
rice.
hit hard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Those hit so I feel like they're not. I'll always go for the Snickers first, and then I'm like, I'm running low on Snickers. Crunch Bar, easy. Okay, so I got Skittles, I got Starburst, and I got my Crunch Bar, and I'm gonna go with my next other chocolate duo, Kit Kat. Come on, yes, okay. I like the white chocolate Kit Kats. I like all the Kit Kats. I think they're solid. They're solid.
Crunch Bar, awesome ones. With my 8 pick, I'm going to pick one that's kind of in the same category for me with those, and that's Twix Bar. Dude, I like the Twixes, that little cookie crunch, little caramel, really nice. I will say Twix Bar is not as good as a Crunch Bar, but I love me a Twix Bar. All right, so I got one.
Was it Twix that had the like mess up with Milky Way? Isn't there like I feel like there was like some story a long time ago about when those companies first started, they like mixed the packaging with it. So like the Twix bar is actually supposed to be a Milky Way, and a Milky Way is supposed to be a Twix.
What?
But they went out and they never changed the name or something. Yeah. Because a Milky, and it kind of makes sense because the Twix, they have like the layers. I
had no idea. I've never heard this
It kind of makes sense when you think about it.
No, I haven't.
I might just be lying. So I'm gonna go look this
Well, if
up
there's
after
one thing
this.
people come to the KO Disc Golf Show, it's facts about candy. So, uh, yeah. You're like, I don't know anything
Disinformation.
about that. All right. We got one more pick each. For my last pick, I'm going with Nerds. I like those little box of Nerds. My wife like fucking loves those too. So, yeah, Nerds are gonna be my final pick. One more, bud.
I know. I wanted Nerds, but I'm pretty happy with
Oh,
it. Give me
okay.
a Tootsie Pop. Big lollipop guy. I'm a big
Yeah,
lollipop guy.
I don't
The
like the tops
flavors.
very much.
Oh,
All right, so stuff that we left
so
undrafted, and like I said, I'll put this into a comment on the video. But we didn't draft Hershey's, we didn't draft Three Musketeers, we didn't draft Milky Way, we didn't draft Almond Joy, and we didn't draft M&M, like regular M&M.
oh, I
Oh,
think
Three
it's Three
Musketeers and Milky Way.
Musketeers and Milky Way. That's what it is. Those two
Talk to
candy
people for a
bars.
second.
Because yeah.
Tears.
Live
Oh
fact
my god,
check.
spelling Musketeers all of a sudden was really difficult. Um, Mix up name. This is great. Great name and stuff.
Well, I know I had Skittles, Starburst,
Yeah,
Crunch
your
Bar,
list
Kit
slaps.
Kat,
It was
and a
really
Tootsie
good.
Pops.
Um, oh, hey, this is fake.
Yours, hey,
Okay. Yeah, okay, so claim the Milky
it's
Way and the
fake.
Three Musketeers candy bars were each given the wrong names when the wrappers were inadvertently switched. Rating false. Consider the following claim about the origins Mars Company popular Milky Way
Man, you can't
bars.
believe it what you read on the internet. Come on.
Labeled as switched. Well, this has a
So
strain of plausibility because a Milky Way bar has three ingredients: chocolate coating, nougat, caramel. It's easy to envision the smooth chocolate nougat interior of the Three Musketeers bar as a veritable galaxy of taste. I hate that sentence so. That was the worst. This is one
yeah,
full
that
sentence,
was
and I
not.
hate myself for rereading this, but this is a full sentence I just found on the internet. This has a strain of plausibility because a Milky Way bar has three ingredients to review: chocolate coating, nougat, caramel, and it is easy to envision the smooth chocolate nougat interior of the Three Musketeers bar as a veritable galaxy of taste. I'm done with it. Fuck this shit, dude. That was awful.
Well, honestly, after that, I feel better, and I think I'm right,
I like
and
yours thing better.
that guy's
Yeah, it's
wrong.
not right. Oh,
I was told that as like a kid. Like I remember hearing that in like middle school from like a teacher or like a parent or something, where I was like, "Oh, I just remember.
no,
This is a random fact. I'll remember the rest of
it's
my
not
life,
like
I guess."
your whole childhood is
Which
just
is
been a
now
lie.
a lie.
You should go find that teacher and be like, "Screw you, buddy." Like you don't even know.
You
You
made me
did.
look like a fool on my podcast. Well, appreciate y'all coming in. I don't know. When I rewatch this, we'll see how I sound like, but appreciate y'all. 27 episodes. It's been amazing. I got to end. We're gonna end with one of my favorite Giants of all time, Brandon Jacobs. Oh, the quote: "Today is a good day to be a Giant. Hell, every day is a good day to be a Giant. Y'all have a blessed day. Aim high, shoot low. We'll see you next week.